Hi guys, and welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. For those of you who are new, my name is Brenda and welcome. Today I'm participating in another challenge. This one is called Bloom by Grace, and I will let you know more about that in a few minutes. But I am so excited to be part of this challenge, and I'm excited to get crafting. So with all that being said, let's get to crafting. Okay, DIY number one. So I started out with one of those boxes that I got from Dollar Tree, the candle holder from Dollar Tree, some flowers from Dollar Tree, and some craft sticks. Now these craft sticks, I am measuring here where I want to cut them, and as I'm laying it out, I realize that it's just a little too wide for my box. So I take these sticks that I got from Amazon, and I decide to start cutting them down, and so I measured them to the sizes that I need and I cut them down. Now each side of the box is a little different, so don't measure the tops and the sides all together because you're probably going to have some that are shorter than the other. I know this by experience. But anyways, these sticks that I'm using, I bought off of Amazon. I will have a link to them in my description box, as well as everything else that I use today. And I totally recommend getting them. I love them. They are so handy to have. They're flat, and they're just great little pieces to have. So once I get them all cut down to size, I go and I hot glue the pieces onto the box. And the reason for doing that is because I'm going to put some in the middle of that square that I just created with those sticks. But I didn't want the sticks to be moving around when I measure where to cut the middle piece. So I figured it'd be best to hot glue it down, and then I can do the middle piece and get them straight. Because when it comes to doing things straight, I'm not so good sometimes. So I take another piece there and I'm laying it down, and then I'm just measuring where it comes to the corner, and then I trim it down, and I grab another piece, and look, that one fits perfectly. So I measure it like I just told you not to do, and then I will cut this down. But once I get that one cut down, I put them on top of each other and realized, oh wait, I don't want one on top of the other. So I took that second piece and I'm marking where it meets that middle diagonal piece, and I trim it, cut it in half. And then I will hot glue them on, and then I do that to each side of the box. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Brenda. I'm so excited to have you here. If you haven't already, I hope you would hit that subscribe button and join our little family, and hit that notification bell as well. So then, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to my footage, but I went and I used E6000 and hot glue and attached that candlestick to the bottom of that box. Then I took it outside and spray painted it white. And now I'm taking my Waverly chalk paint in the color Cashew, and I am just doing some little dry brushing all around the box, on the outside of the box and on the candle holder. Now, I really liked it, but I felt like it still needed some depth with some other color because it felt too light. So I took my antique Waverly wax, and I'm just doing a little dry brushing around the edges, just kind of all over as well. And then it just gave it a little bit more dimension, and I really, really liked it. And if you don't like distressing, you don't have to do this. You can make it any color you want. So once I get done with all of that, and once it's all dry, I take some floral foam, and I'm just cutting it down to fit inside my little box. And then I took these sunflowers that I got from the Dollar Tree, and look at those, are just so beautiful. And then those I got from Hobby Lobby. They were $2.99, but they were 50% off of that. So they were $1.50 for 4. And then I am just placing those flowers wherever I feel they look best inside the box. And then I take a couple of leaves that I'd gotten off the flowers, and I'm going to hot glue them on the bottom of that candle holder. Sorry, I should have laid this down so you could see better, but you'll see that here in a moment. And once I get both of those leaves hot glued there, I'm going to use that small sunflower that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to hot glue it to the middle of those two leaves. And I just love those little sunflowers. They're so cute. Then I took some buffalo check ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I am just wrapping it around the bottom of that box, and I'm hot gluing it together. And then once I am done with that, I just make a simple shoestring bow like you would make if you were tying your shoes, and I hot glue that right in the middle to cover up that seam. And then I did make a second little bow, and I put it down by that bottom sunflower. And then I took a bee that I got off of Amazon, and I just hot glued that to that bottom bow, and I just think it is so cute. I love it, and I am getting so excited for fall. And this, I know sunflowers can be a summer and a fall flower, but I'm excited for fall. Tell me what you think about it. Okay guys, let's talk about this challenge. It is hosted by Brenda at Monner's Market and co-hosted by Tammy at Happiness Created. Both these women, I have been watching them for a few months now, and I enjoy their videos. They're wonderful women, they're very kind and nice, and they make great DIYs, and they're new to YouTube like myself. So I encourage you to check out their channels, give them a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, and let them know I sent you. Also, with today's challenge is a $100 Amazon gift card giveaway, and in order to be entered into the drawing, you need to do a few things. First of all, you need to watch all the videos in the playlist, and then each creator is going to have a question for you to answer and ask you to leave some certain emojis as well. So make sure you watch the videos in the playlist, listen for the question, put the question in the comments as well as the emojis that each creator chooses. So with all that being said, let's continue crafting. Okay, DIY number 2. Now this, I'm using a wood jar cutout, some sunflowers, some linoleum nails, and some embroidery floss. So I take my Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, and I paint this whole jar black. Now, I then take the linoleum nails, and I'm trying to hammer this in to the bottom. But I was doing it real carefully because I didn't want to go through my table. But my husband, so sweet that he is, brought me a piece of wood to use, and I did really good until this final nail. I actually go into his piece of wood, which I'm glad I had the piece of wood, but I kind of had to laugh how it didn't happen until the very last nail. But I was able to remove it. And then I am going to take some of that embroidery floss, and I'm going to tie a knot around that nail, and then I'm going to start wrapping that floss around the nails. Now you'll see I'm just basically wrapping it once, but I do end up changing it over here in a minute, and you'll see me wrapping it around about 2 or 3 times because it was trying to come off. So you just want to make sure it's nice and tight and wrap it a few times. Now I had intended to do a little bit more designs with the nails, but because my wood was really thin and the nails are a lot longer than the wood, I was just kind of getting frustrated, and it was a little harder than I expected. So I decided to just stay simple this time, and I'm going to try this again and maybe do something a little more creative. If you haven't seen this before, it's called string art, and I would encourage you to look it up. You can find it on Pinterest or Google, but there is some amazing string art out there, and I just think it's so cool. I really want to do some more of this. So once I get to the final nail, I'm just going to trim it off, and I'm going to just tie it around and tie a knot to secure it. And then once I am done with that, I am going to grab some of those sunflowers that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I am going to cut them down and start placing them between the jar and the string. Sorry guys, I didn't realize that it took me so long to tie that knot. Oh my goodness. There we go. Okay. So initially I tried to put 4 flowers there, but it was just a little too cramped. So I ended with 3. And then I took these, I don't know what they're called. There's some kind of clamps that my husband had. And I trimmed down the back so not as much of that nail was sticking out. And then I took my hot glue and covered those nails to help soften it so it wasn't so pokey. Then I took some of this buffalo check ribbon and I am tying a bow right there, right under the top part of that jar. And then I decided the flowers were just not working the way they were. So I took off the flower tops and I think I removed leaves from 2 of the stems, and I think I end up only using 3 flowers and not 4. But I do hot glue the stems down, I hot glue the leaves that I used down, and then I'm going to hot glue the flowers to that jar as well, just like that. That way they're on there secure, and it really helped it not be as bushy, and I didn't like that you couldn't see the ribbon or the string outline there. So once that was all done, I took a little bee and hot glued it to the bottom, and then I took some more of that ribbon and I'm just making a hanger with it by hot gluing it to the back. Took some paper bag and cut it out and hot glued that to the back to cover up all those nails and everything, and then trimmed it down, and there it is. I think it came out pretty cute, considering it's not real fancy or not what I had in mind, but let me know what you think about it and if you've ever seen the string art as well. And guys, if you're not following me yet, please check me out on Facebook and Instagram. I'd love to connect with you. And if you want to support my channel, you can watch my video, subscribe, like, comment, share my video, and also buy me a coffee. All the links are in my description box. So here's the next DIY. I started out with that little picture thing from Dollar Tree, some flowers from Dollar Tree, a sunflower from Hobby Lobby, and some wood rounds. Now I'm using this paint scraper to take the picture off of that stand, and I really had to work at it. I had to work really hard. In fact, I kind of cracked the back of that stand just a little bit. So I took some hot glue and stuck it in between the crack there and was able to make it more secure. And then once I was done with that, I took these wood rounds and I took some apple barrel paint, and I think the color is called Chocolate Bar. I will have that in my description box as well. And I'm just going to paint both of those wood rounds with that color, and then I will set them aside to dry. Then I took those snips that my husband had, and I cut the wires, I cut those flowers down to make them smaller. And then I'm using my Waverly chalk paint in the color ink to color that base, to paint that base. Then I used Maize and Pumpkin in Waverly chalk paint, and I went over both of those flowers. I just did one coat on all the petals. And once they were dry, I took some more of that chocolate paint, and I'm just going all around the edge of all of those petals with that color. And I do a little bit of distressing on the petals themselves, except for the smallest petals I don't, because some of that wood round is going to cover the petals. And I really love how those came out. So then after that, I took my black chalk paint and I'm just making a big round circle in the middle of the browned pieces of wood there. And once I get done with that, I'm going to add my seeds by using some yellow Maize chalk paint, and a really teeny tiny little brush. Now, I am not a painter by no means. I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to painting. I pulled up a picture from Pinterest, and I just was trying to kind of copy it as best as I could, and this is how it turned out. So once I got done with doing the yellow, I mixed some yellow and some pumpkin together, and I do the same thing with that color as I did with the yellow. And then once I'm done with that and it's dry, I take the bottom part of a paintbrush and I'm dipping it into my black chalk paint, and I'm just going all around the brown part. Then I take part of a popsicle stick that I had and I hot glued it to the middle of that flower, and then I am putting that brown round. I hot glued that to the popsicle stick. That way it was just secure a little bit better. Then I'm going to use some twist ties, or zip ties, sorry, and I am tying that flower, or all flowers, on just like that. And once I had them on, then I used this glue, and I'll have a link to that, or a description of what it is in my description box. But it's supposed to bond within 30 seconds, but I don't know if it's because it was metal, it wasn't wanting to bond, so I just used my accelerant and it stuck really well. So once I had all the 3 flowers on there and all the leaves, then I took some more of that buffalo check ribbon and I just put it around the bottom of that stand. And then I just added a little bee, and there it is. And I think it came out looking so cute. I absolutely love this. Tell me what you think. Okay, so the last DIY is this adorable picture, and I used a sign from the Dollar Tree and paper from Hobby Lobby, this wood decal from the Dollar Tree, and then some ribbon. And so I trimmed, or I measured out that paper. The width of it was fine, but it was too short. So I used that part that I cut off to put on the bottom part. So I'm just using some Mod Podge here and going all around that sign. And then I tap on that paper, and then I add that extra strip to the bottom. Then I am trimming down this wall decor. Now, after I cut it, I realized it's actually two-sided. So I would recommend, if you're going to use this, to open it up and then trim it down so you're not cutting that back picture as well. And then I just used my weeding tool to help me pull that piece off. Because of all the leaves, it kind of made it hard. It wanted to rip. So once I got it all off, I'm just placing it right there on that picture, and it's already looking so cute. I love that buffalo plaid with the picture. Then I am just taking the little bumblebees that are on that decal and adding them to the picture as well. And then I don't show this, but I did take my X-Acto knife and I cut through the paper where the string was before, the holder, and I just ran that jute twine back into and tied a knot at the end so that we have the picture holder there. Then I used some more jute twine. I put a knot in it and hot glued it to the back, and then I'm wrapping it around the seam where those 2 pieces of paper meet. Now, I thought I was going to wrap it around 4 times, but I ran out of twine, so I just tied a knot at the end and hot glued it and then cut off the extra there. So only wrapped around 3 times, but it still looks good. Then I took those tags. The black ones are from Dollar Tree. The tan ones, I believe I got Christmas time at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just using Elmer's glue to attach them. And unfortunately, I cut out the part where I used my stickers, but I used some stickers from the Dollar Tree and I placed them on the tags, and it just says Happy Fall You All. Then I tied the top tag to the holder, the twine at the top, and then I hot glued it on, and then here I'm just hot gluing the second tag on there as well. And then after that, I took some raffia bows that I got off of a Easter sign that I had used earlier, and I had them in my stash, and I'm just hot gluing them to the top of those tags, and I just think it brings those tags to life. Then I made a little bow, sorry I didn't show you, and I hot glued a bee to it, and there it is, so simple and easy, and it is so cute. And guys, for my question, what is your favorite season to decorate? So leave that in the comment box below and leave a flower emoji and a leaf emoji, and you will be entered to win that $100 gift card. So good luck, everybody. And I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Have your notification bells set because I have another video coming out on Tuesday, another collaboration for Christmas in July. I'm so excited. I love Christmas. Yay! So have those notification bells set and be ready to have some fun, and we will see you all then. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.